So, hello everybody, and welcome to the first ever computing podcast. This podcast will cover computer science, our vocational offers of creative iMedia, information technologies, and also our level 3 offers at A-level, so obviously A-level computer science, and our level 3 technical suites. This is a first in a series, so if you do enjoy this one, please do come and download the following ones when they're produced. And hopefully every month there'll be interesting snippets about our qualifications to keep you up to date. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Caredig. I'm one of the subject advisors, and co-hosting with me today I have Diane Thornburn.
Hello, my name's Diane Thornburn and I'm head of campaigns here at OCR. So my role actually involves listening to you as our customers and making sure that we are communicating to you with the right information at the right time. And to give you a brief example of a campaign that we work on, we've recently been working very closely with the subject teams around computer science to really guide you through what you need to do and what you need to know. So it's really important for us that we understand your needs and also to understand how you absorb your media. So are you going to Facebook? Are you reading your emails? Are you reading TES, for example? So again, any feedback, warmly welcome.
So without further ado, we'll move into our first section, which will be a review of the post-series of examinations. And in this, we'll have a look at how you as a teacher can make best use of OCR to look and review your exam results and maybe look at changing your pedagogy for the future and supporting students for better access into our exam papers and coursework. Our examining process is quite long and complex, and quite a lot of teachers do ask us for some extra help and support.
So what if customers want to know a bit more about examining and the process?
So on our website, we have released 2 videos that explain marking and assessment and have a look at the moderation process as well, and how we standardise scripts. Now, marking and moderation is quite a complex process involving many thousands of examiners, and these videos give you a really good oversight as to what processes take place, what happens when, and the systems that we have to follow to ensure that our examining and marking is fair to all students.
Oh, that's interesting. So how would examining benefit teachers?
Well, we're always in need of good examiners, and the examining process is where you as a teacher mark papers or moderate coursework on behalf of OCR. A lot of teachers who sign up do this for CPD and also to get a deeper understanding of what assessment is and the principles of how mark schemes are applied during the examination process. So it really is a good opportunity to build your expertise as a teacher and to really dig into understanding mark schemes and papers to help maximise student performance.
So now the review of results deadline is over, how can teachers use results to support teaching in the coming year?
Okay, now teachers have the results, quite often it's looking forwards of what can I do to help improve performance, how can I help students, and is there anything looking backwards over the year that maybe we can develop resource-wise in the school to really reinforce candidates' understanding. Now, the first port of call is to have a look at the examiner reports. And these are on the website, and you'll find them under the assessment sections for all of our qualifications. And the examiner reports are summaries from the principal markers about the strengths of the qualification and what areas candidates attempted well. And it also highlights areas where candidates may not have performed as well and potential misconceptions. And quite often with this, there's exemplar work from candidates to really show you how the mark scheme was applied and to help that understanding. Now, we also have a tool which quite a lot of teachers use, which is available through Interchange, and that's called Active Results. And Active Results is really a tool that allows you to dig into the strengths and the challenges in the exam papers from both candidate level all the way through to cohort level, and allows you to compare your school against national cohorts and averages.
That's really interesting. So I've been hearing some really good things about Exam Builder recently. So how does that work, and does that plug into Active Results?
Our Exam Builder is basically a huge store of all the exam papers across certain qualifications. And it's really, really popular. It's very flexible and gives you the ability as a teacher to really look into setting exam level sort of tests using our past questions, but allows you to search and focus on specific topics or areas and custom build a real sort of examination experience for your candidate in the classroom. And because they're official papers, they come with official mark schemes, and therefore you can be confident that when a candidate answers questions, you have the level of detail in our mark schemes to help you assess candidates as if it was a real experience. Also, Exam Builder allows you to share exam papers or tests that you create across different teachers. So if you have different sets, you can share a generic paper and customise them individually to help support your department as well.
Definitely sounds like an invaluable tool. No wonder I'm hearing such good things about it. So we've got Exam Builder, active results, examiner reports, and then maybe with them trying to look at becoming an examiner. Is there anything else that teachers might find useful?
Yeah, we always have the subject advisor team sitting here ready to help out. So quite often we have centres who want to discuss the moderation report or have looked at some scripts and just want a little bit more clarity on why certain marks may or may not have been awarded. And we're always happy where possible to look at those and give you feedback. Now, we're not obviously moderators ourselves, but we are able to read and direct you to resources that may help you understand your moderator's report, or indeed, as we're all being sort of past teachers ourselves, give you some advice and feedback more generally as to what the moderator might be looking for and where the standards are lying within our coursework. So I hope you found that review of post results useful and gives you some features and tools that you can use from OCR to really help boost your candidate's performance. For the next section, we're going to move on and have a look at one of our newer qualifications, which is information technologies.
So, moving on to some qualification-specific discussions, I've heard that the new, or the Cambridge Nationals in Information Technologies, there's some updated resources.
Yes, it does. We've been working really hard behind the scenes. We obviously do listen to teachers a lot, and the feedback that we've been getting has had a huge influence in the way we've moved forward with resourcing this qualification. On the website, we do have our teacher delivery packs, which, similar to computer science, give lesson by lesson sort of breakdowns and ideas with activities to help stimulate some ideas for teaching. And then we have some expanded schemes of work as well, which sort of just help suggest delivery approaches. And then we've got, hopefully, just coming out as well, some more sample learner work. And sample learner work will really look at what candidates need to do to secure specific mark bands and grades, and hopefully give teachers a better sort of understanding of our expectations and highlight the core points of each mark band to help when they come to not only delivery and teaching, but then also the marking and assessment as well.
Are there any other tips on delivery for this qualification?
Yes, there's been a lot of talk about how ICT was removed from the curriculum and we're missing the GCSE, but the Cambridge Nationals in IT is almost the new IT qualification, and because of the call for practical work, it sat quite nicely in the vocational sort of area. But what we are seeing in a similar way to computer science is that the upskilling needed for candidates to become sort of successful in this IT has not necessarily taken effect, and we're finding that centres are saying that there's quite a lot of challenge and there's a lot of content to deliver solely at Key Stage 4. Now, to help with this, we do have a skills list which highlights the skills sort of required at the different grade boundaries. And whilst it's not a hard and fast tick box exercise, it does suggest a level of confidence for candidates to achieve certain boundaries. Now, my experience in the computer science area has shown me that where teachers have taken ideas and slowly sort of built them up from Key Stage 3 and looked at changing curriculum, it's really strengthened candidates' understanding and given them a solid base on which to build. Now, obviously at the moment there's a lot of challenge in Key Stage 3, not only with timing, but also with retraining to learn some of these skills, as there are quite a lot of new skills in this IT qualification being brought in. So a lot of the discussion from teachers has also been about creativity when delivering the information technologies course. Because the theory content and the practical work blend so well together, a holistic delivery really works quite well. And we'd suggest looking at maybe using mini projects to deliver ideas. So for instance, the theory about project planning and the practical application about project planning could be used along the lines of creating a school fete or planning a brochure. And actually quite a lot of these hands-on approaches really engage students, and if they can be linked to projects they're doing maybe across a school or in real life, really adds an extra element of enthusiasm and engagement that students latch onto and really helps to blend sort of the teaching of theory and the practical work into a more sort of exciting and engaging experience for students.
That's great. So what if a teacher wants a bit more training on this? What else would you recommend?
So again, having listened to teachers, training is a real focus for this year again, and we are proud to say that all of the training for this qualification is free to really help you consolidate and get to grips with this new style of qualification. So we have a range of training courses, and there are many events running. Our courses go from helping you to understand the exams and the moderated units to simply looking at the specification and getting to know the content and what's expected. And also, for the coursework, we have some Ask the Moderator events, which really allow you to ask specific questions to our lead moderator to really understand the expectations for the RO13 component.
They sound fab, and hopefully that will leave teachers feeling much more supported and able to move forward quite confidently.
Absolutely, we do hope so. And obviously, if you do have any further questions, the subject team is always here to answer them for you.
So, GCSE Computer Science continues to attract a lot of interest. It's been, almost 2 years of change now for teachers, with 2 off-call consultations. Can you tell me a little bit more about why we are now updating the GCSE Computer Science specification?
Sure, absolutely. So it's been quite an interesting ride. I do remember when I first signed up to OCR, and at my interview, the quote was, well, we're nearing the end of development now, so it should be a peaceful few years. How different it has been. So as many people know, the first Teach GCSE for the updated J276 started in 2016, and there was a large demand from teachers to try and keep the practical projects in computer science. So as it was known then, the non-examination assessment gave candidates the opportunity to do 20 hours of project work under strict supervision in school. We did try to increase the rules to enhance security, but unfortunately, across the papers and otherwise, there were further evidence of leaks, and therefore Ofqual led a decision to take consultation along sort of with teachers and the public to really have a look at the security and the confidence in the NEA component. The results of that were obviously then to remove it from the examination final grade, but still keep 20 hours of project. Now, these changes were obviously temporary, and the final consultation was to have a look at the longer term solution for computer science, and that is what we are currently working on now.
So we know that many teachers are concerned that this is going to mean more upheaval for them. So how are we listening to our customers' needs?
As many of you will hopefully have seen or been a part of, we have been absolutely dedicated to making sure that teachers and students are at the forefront of these changes, as the impacts on yourselves and candidates could be significant. We've carried out a wide range of teacher consultations across the country. We held 7 teacher consultative forums from all the way up in the northeast down to the southwest, and lots of communication through social media, through our networks and our newsletters. I think we've run 2 or 3 teacher surveys, which has had many hundreds of responses from all of you. So we are really confident that all of your sort of feedback, needs, concerns have been fed back to us, and also as subject advisors, we're out on the ground sort of quite regularly. So we really do have a sort of finger on the pulse of our teacher community on a day-to-day basis.
Now, I know we're really grateful for our teachers' time in, coming back to us with their thoughts and feedback. How's that affected our approach?
All of the teacher feedback has been collated and analysed, and we've picked out key strands from your feedback that have then led into our development process. Some of these key strands were discussions around mental health of students, how stability of delivery at this time, especially with the National Centre for Computing and the 4 years that they have to retrain or upskill teachers, is starting to take effect as well. But also, I think more importantly, the consistency and reliability of exam results for students as well. A lot of you have already said that our assessment model was good and you still really like it, and you're confident that the results which candidates are getting are fair and reflective of their ability. And I think that the 3 key messages that have come from the teaching community are clarity of our specification and clarity of communication from OCR to teachers to keep them up to date and informed. Consistency of the specification, moving from what will be J276 into J277, so that we're not ripping up the book and starting again. And also, there's been massive amounts of positive feedback for the support that we offer, and we are absolutely committed to not only maintaining that, but hopefully refining it and doing even more to help you. And I think that the whole sort of overarching feel is, don't change things unless we absolutely have to. And we've made sure that any changes that we have put in have been absolutely backed up by the feedback that we've received from the community.
So I guess the big question is, when are we going to hear?
Hey, well, that's a good question. Obviously, hopefully as soon as possible. It might be by the release of this podcast. You already have. We've already had discussions with Ofqual, and we're definitely confident that our approach is close to being accepted, but did need a couple more sort of tweaks. So we're hoping that it should be very soon. As I said, it might be by the time you listen to this. It already has hit the market. But the best way to find out is to make sure that you're signed up to email updates. And we are hosting, again, a massive spread of teacher networks. The initial ones will be led by our subject advisor team, so you'll see myself and Vinay definitely out and about. But as part of our sort of efficacy campaign, we're really keen to engage you as well, and we've recruited some subject ambassadors who are teachers or have been involved with OCR and ex-teachers who are really passionate about our specification and who will be able to deliver, again, the same content as we would, but also put it across to you that as teachers, these are the impacts they'll have, and really sort of speak to you on a teacher-to-teacher level as well. So hopefully all of those things will give you the confidence that sticking with us for the updated J277 specification will be good, and really sort of give you the confidence that you have had a lot of impact in this change period, and as ever we continue to listen and value your feedback. So, as a bit of light entertainment, we decided in this podcast to do a regular feature of a day in the life of. We're aware that OCR might seem, quite a big sort of organisation, and the only contact that you might ever have is either with our customer contact centre or directly with a subject advisor. Now, of course, there are many, many more people behind OCR, and without them, candidates wouldn't get their results on time. So we thought we'd start off with the day in the life of a subject advisor, as this is probably one of your main points of contact. But hopefully later on in the series, we'll also look at people from our operations team, our marketing team, our product development and resources team, and also assessment standards.
So, obviously, many of our customers have either had contact or spoken with the subject advisors, but we know that there is so much more to being a subject advisor. So who are the subject advisors?
The subject advisors are a team in OCR who are responsible for many things. We are, for the majority, all past teachers. There are, I think, around 30 to 35 of us, and we provide sort of support, advice, guidance, both internally and externally, for the majority of the qualifications that OCR deliver.
And how long have you been with OCR?
I have been with OCR since September 2015, and therefore I'm starting, I think, my 5th year now.
And what made you become a subject advisor?
It was an interesting blend. I mean, I absolutely love teaching and really, I've got a history as a teacher and love the ability to interact with candidates and really see them flourish in computer science. But at the same time, I always kind of wanted to know more about the examining system. I felt I also wanted to understand more about sort of assessment principles as well. And at that time, I was looking at whether or not to move sort of more head of department way, and there's a job role at OCR for a subject advisor. So I thought, throwing caution to the wind, I put in an application and debated whether or not relocation to Cambridge would be a scary prospect or not, and was offered a post, and here I am.
So tell us a little bit more about your role.
Wow. They say no day is ever the same in teaching. It couldn't be any more true as a subject advisor. I mean, some of the things we might end up doing, we might end up speaking face-to-face with customers. We provide internal expert advice to our customer contact centre to support customers over the phone or email. We also offer advice and guidance on subject matters towards our product team, so sort of internal expertise. We also observe standardisation and sort of go through the awarding background and have tabs on that. We deal with customer complaints. We go out to external events and support. I know many of you will have seen us at the CAS events or other sort of at BET, for instance. We also run teacher networks, so our customer support team sort of organise those, and then we'll deliver those. We do quality assurance work on resources and recruitment of trainers, and are involved in development of the training and CPD. I think the list could go on. We link up with industry partners and external stakeholders, and we run our stakeholder forums, and we also internally do a lot of training to ensure that we are assessment specialists as well and understand the examining system to help explain that to our customers.
So how do you link the customer to our qualifications?
It's often, I guess, the missing link that people don't see in some ways. Talking to us does actually have an effect. So, whether it's on a teacher network or whether we're talking to businesses or we're monitoring traffic on social media, all of that chatter is captured by the subject advisor team. We feed into insight forms and really pass on the feelings, the thoughts, the ideas that teachers have directly into our processes. And I think it's very important to highlight that a lot of the responsiveness, especially in computer science from my point of view, has been because teachers have said, this is what it's like for us and this is where we need the support.
So it's a real hands-on role and really understanding what our customers are doing.
Absolutely. I mean, you'll get some weeks you're sitting in office, you'll get others you're spending multiple nights across Premier Inns across the country. I think my record was 850 miles in a week, going from Bristol up to Manchester and then across to Leeds and Nottingham and then back down again. So
when you're not staying in holiday inns or delivering teacher networks, what do you do in your spare time?
Sleep. Also play football. I'm part of a 5-a-side and 11-a-side team. I have to say I do have my nerdier side, so you might find me engrossed in the odd PC game here and there. I also do quite a lot of tabletop gaming as well, and I sort of quite like miniature painting. I like gardening. I think I'm fairly well known across OCR for my obsession with chilies, and made a lovely spicy chili sauce for one of our sales recently. So yeah, varied range of interests, but yeah, keep life busy.
Great.
Hopefully that has given you a bit of an insight into the subject advisors and our roles. And again, we're fairly similar across all subjects. So if you found that interesting, do let your colleagues know that this is what subject advisors do. That brings us to the end of this podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it and you'll tune in again, as it were. As I said, these will be monthly updates and will complement our e-newsletter. So if you haven't signed up for our e-newsletter, please do go onto the website and register. But otherwise, thank you very much for your support from OCR. Always happy to take questions, so please do email them or give us a call. Otherwise, we hope you have a brilliant start to the term and look forward to meeting you soon.